Hello, my ladies and pretty gentlemen. You seem to be upset if I say pretty. You seem to be upset if I say nothing at all. So I think I'm going to choose. Today, I'm hearing something actually very entertaining and interesting happening in kind of like a parallel universe, but it's not parallel in a sense where everything is really connected. But I'm hearing you give like a level of like a creepiness, like, or a chill that you might give certain audience members in this parallel universe. So I'm gonna actually tell you how I've received this download. Imagine that every single person living here, if you are in a Netflix series on a parallel universe, kind of like Black Mirror. So this notification, so to speak, this narrative has entered my perspective come like February. February was like a huge thing for some reason. And I'm beginning to understand what it's really about. So a lot of you, right, you do mention that you manifest. This is your life. You aren't going to hand it over to something else. You are taking accountability, whatever the case might be. In this process, right, you have kind of brought a spotlight onto your own center, thus creating like splinters or other stray timelines. And in these timelines, there is a feedback that's happening, or you're able to source your energy out into these timelines, which are actually real life experiences that people are having here in the same world that we think we live in. You could be starring in your own show. And I'm hearing this, right? You have audience members. Like, there are audience members who count on you. And this is like this show, whatever you want to call it, however you're receiving this message. This could be you endeavoring to live your life beyond the people that have experienced you and known you. Kind of like being able to spread out thin, because you've begun to understand that it's not really about finding where you fit in, because that's never been the case for you. You are relinquishing the control for that outcome. And in this process, you are becoming like an unhinging experience to look at for certain audience members, where this is what I'm hearing. They can't quite walk away, or they can't quite like watch it. So there is this experience that a lot of souls have, right, of good and bad, and like there's this perfect differentiator. I'll drink some water. The spit and the dryness, ooh, caps lock, annoying. I bet you didn't come here for ASMR, so. Are you happy? Anyway, back to the point. What was I saying? Yes, so these people are on a certain level of consciousness, right, where they have a differentiator of good and bad. This is how it is. But there is the experience that you're living, and in this parallel universe, there's almost like, say, a series of it, or people get to witness it and watch it. And I'm a firm believer that whatever we watch on Netflix is true on many levels. So you could just imagine it in this perspective that I'm kind of delivering at this point to better explain this narrative. Sorry, I'm looking at something. Anyway, so these audience members that can't quite look, but they can't quite turn away, you are impacting them on a level where, let's say that they have experienced reality for however that we've experienced it before we started to question who we are, or the deeper layers, and whether we have actually learned the truth, or whether this is real or not, whatever the case might be. These people are beginning to see, perhaps for the first time, right? Like how you felt when you begun to really, oh my God, where have I been? Like, what is, this is a lie? Like that experience that you had, you're becoming like that of an initiator. And what I'm hearing is this. A lot of new communities are being attracted or drawn to you. They're not necessarily communities that you would fit into or you would consider yourself to belong to, but they're communities that Spirit wants you to sort of go with the flow, entertain these. You're not stringent anymore, okay? You're not looking for a certain result out of your experiences. You are the experience now. You are the initiator. You are the anomaly. You have awoken yourself into the experiential realm, where you are literally mutating yourself. Some of you can even change your face if you wanted to. You can change what you look like. It's all in your energy. And you're becoming very detached or separated from these notions that now these souls, through you in this Netflix series example, are experiencing. So by that I mean your choices, right? What you consider to be good, bad, what you consider to be offensive, not offensive. There is a lot of gray area to where you might stand, right? Because of a lot of things that you had to release. And this could have happened because you were either abused or went through a lot of pain. And a lot of you went through this at a very fresh or young age. So it could almost feel like to you it's normal, right? You easily forgive, or you see things like criminals or crimes being committed and you have different questions that you present. You might even sympathize or care for them and the victim at the same time. There is no black and white anymore. And in this harmony, right, you are becoming almost something very disturbing to look at. And the example I got was this. You know how in one of those movies, right, everything is copacetic, like the town, like this is a suburb, everybody knows how to behave, we know what to do, what to say, this is our thing, this is our society. Lo and behold, the character walks in. Usually, this character has been placed as a side role, or what some people refer to as like a pixie Dixie girl, whatever the hell that is. Kind of like a colorful character that's there to influence the quote-unquote boring main character. So this character, this anomaly or this mistake, this mess, right? It doesn't have to look like the typical mess that we have seen on movies. Think of the mess as your own experience kind of overwhelmingly taking over, where you are the director of your own reality. And in that process, you have completely transformed in a way that you can't quite perceive it, but the people that I've described on that soul level that are beginning to sort of get that experience of seeing something only because they can't quite look at you or they can't quite turn away. That friction of what the hell is this person doing? So this example, right? Lo and behold, everything's perfect and normal. This person walks in. They're a mess. Let's say that they're wearing like an evening gown from yesterday. God knows where they've been. You know, from Shameless, like they're just not, you don't expect anything from this person. You don't want them near you. You don't want to, I don't know, let them go. But you don't also want to invite them into your life because they're so unpredictable and almost like unrelatable, but at the same time quite relatable to the internal world that people choose to hide. This is what you're doing. So when you're being invited to these new communities, and it's going to happen very fluently, you're almost going to even be drawn like a speculator to people that some people annoyingly called normies, but I think that's an annoying and very offensive term, in my opinion. But kind of like you're not seeing them for that, right? You have the capacity. I've mentioned this before on my channel several times. You have the capacity to see people's higher selves. And this is why sometimes people either run away or they get aggressive. But these audience members that I'm talking about today, they could be churchgoers. They could be anyone, truly anyone. And what I'm actually getting, the vision I got was a very disturbed, like disgruntled person who keeps getting up from the cinema chair, walking out, coming back in, and being like that kind of energy is what I'm getting. And in that process, this person is slowly sitting back down on their chair, and they're reconsidering everything that they've thought about regarding what's right for their life, how come this person sees such a great evil in a very positive way? Almost like because of your understanding of evil, because of your understanding and integration of it, you become almost more terrifying than the evil itself, because you're thought of as like, which one are you? You could do worse, can't you? You could do worse because of the conception of both good and evil. But you choose not to. As I've described, this godhood is this understanding where the stakes are high. So we agree upon love. This energy, right? This audience member is beginning to almost weep for their own life, like the loss that they have felt in their life, for not being able to really stand in what they felt because they thought, well, God wouldn't like that. Well, that's not considered good. All of these limitations are being unshackled from these people, these audience members that are getting a chance to experience you as you broaden your horizons. Almost like a observer, a speculator, an angel in the midst of, just kind of brushing you up here. But this is the message I'm getting. So stay open, because through this experience, what I also heard was something vague, like you're going to get something that you didn't expect that you would get. I don't know what that means, but be the speculator. And if there is one more message. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I also heard salt of the earth, and what does that really mean? And I want to ask you, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Because I want to know. And with that being said, I don't reach out for personal readings. You can email me, and the email is in the description box down below. I'm getting to the people from April because my email got shut down, and I'm kind of getting my bearings back in order. So we'll be back and running soon. Until then, bye.